I watched my mother's smile crack when the usher shook his head. No names, no zots, no exceptions. The music inside the hall swelled, strings tightening. Lykia held breath while she stood frozen under the arch of white roses, clutching a purse she never needed when I was hungry. My father leaned in, whispering something sharp. I couldn't hear it. I didn't need to. I was 10 steps away, hidden behind a pillar, listening to Meown pulse slow. This was the moment I'd rehearsed in silence. The one I promised myself would be clean. When my mother finally looked up and saw me dressed for me wedding, she mouthed my name like opera she hadn't earned. I turned away before she finished saying it. At 18, they drove me to my grandparents' farm with 2 duffel bags and a lie. Just until things settle, my mother said, eyes fixed on the road. My sister sat in the back, already glowing with a certainty that the world would bend for her. The golden daughter, the investment. They didn't look back when they left me there. Dust rose. Silence stayed. The farm smelled like hay and old coffee. My grandparents didn't ask questions. They gave me a room, a routine, and work that made my hands ache. I learned the weight of mornings, the dignity of finishing things, the sound of my own thoughts when no one interrupted. Birthdays passed without calls. Holidays arrived thin and awkward. I sent cards. They sent nothing. When my sister won awards, my parents posted photos online. When I graduated with honors, my grandmother framed the certificate and hung it in the hallway. That was my applause. I learned early not to wait for people who had already decided I was optional. They came back when my life started to look expensive. It began with a message, casual, almost cheerful. Then calls, then visits, and why mother's eyes catalogued my furniture and why father asked questions that sounded like pride but felt like inventory. They said they missed me, that they had always believed in me. I smiled. I listened. I let them talk. But something felt off, too rehearsed, too sudden. Love doesn't arrive with a ledger. At night, I replayed their words. Not what they said, how they said it. The pauses, the glances, the way my sister's name never came up anymore. I didn't ask questions. I watched. The truth came quietly, the way real betrayals do. I found it in an email my father forgot to log out of on me laptop. A subject line that pulsed like a bruise. Loan denied. Medical bills. Business failures. My sister's temporary setback. They needed money. Stability. Me. The love was leveraged. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I felt something colder slide into place. They hadn't come back for me. They'd come back to collect. I closed the laptop and sat in the dark listening to the refrigerator hum. That sound had always meant safety. Now it marked the beginning of something else. I said nothing. I let them believe the smiles. Let them think the door was open. I watched patterns form, the timing off calls, the rehearsed vulnerability, the way my mother praised me like a product she regretted returning. I kept records, dates, messages, numbers. When they hinted at support, I nodded. When they asked about my future, I mentioned my wedding. My mother lit up. My father asked about venues. I told them it was intimate, family. Silence became my weapon. I sharpened it daily. I planned my wedding the way I planned everything now, with precision. Names were chosen carefully. Seats counted twice. Some people earned proximity. Others earned distance. The confrontation wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It happened in the lobby under the soft betrayal of string music and perfume. My parents stood there finally understanding why sister wasn't with them. She never is when things fall apart. My mother found her voice first. This must be a mistake. I met her eyes. Tom, unmoved. No, my father's jaw tightened. After everything, after you left me, I said quietly. After you came back with an invoice. People passed, laughed, lived. Damn, why mother reached for me. I stepped back. The movement was small. Final. You wanted support, I continued. You taught me how to survive without it. The usher waited. I nodded. He opened the doors behind me. Light spilled out. Applause rose. I didn't look back. Later, when the music softened and the night exhaled, I stood with my partner under ASCII that felt earned. I thought of the farm, the quiet mornings, the strength that grows when no one is watching. Some people mistake silence for weakness. They confuse absence with permission. I didn't seek revenge. I built a life so complete their absence became permanent. They taught me how to leave. I finally did it right.